Alright, so I'm gonna go through my icon bingo generator that I use to play bingo. Primarily Kingdom Hearts bingo, but in the future there will probably be more games on this. So yeah, I'm gonna walk through this and give a little tour. So we've got the main bingo generator here, icon bingo generator, multi-mode bingo generator with icon support. So we got the generator portion here, and also down here we have the info drop down, which has a bunch of useful, quick information. We got some credits here, we got controls, a little bit of explanation on what certain things do. Down here we have objective bingo lists, which if I click there, it'll take you to my personal website. This is all of the objective lists that are on the generator. So it just gives you like the full lists that you can check out. You can see all of the objectives in every single list. I try to keep this as updated as I can. And it'll also give you like a little explanation of each list as well. And yeah, you can go look at specific ones. We also got the GitHub repo, which you can take a look at. It also has a README, which is full of a bunch of information. I'm gonna go through most of this, but there are little details in here that you might also find useful. But anyways, going back to the generator. So the generator itself, we got a couple sections. We got game options, we got mode options, modifiers, and then we have this stuff to actually generate the game. So going for mode options first. Right now, I have 4 games hard-coded into this. So we got Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3, I got Zelda OOT, and then I also have custom, so you can upload your own JSON file. And I'll explain this later. But yeah, when you click on a game, you will get a couple options here. You have your choice of which list to use. So like for KH1, we have 2 options. We have AP randomizer and generic. And again, if you want to know specifically the differences between these 2 lists, you can go to this bingo list page, and it'll give you a little bit of an explanation of what exactly each list is, but also like what specific goals are included in that list. So yeah, we got these 2 lists. For some of the lists, you're going to see these toggles beneath. So these are tags. So you can toggle these on and off if you want to. So for example, if I don't want to include any Atlantica related goals, I can go ahead and toggle that off. If I don't want to include super bosses, I could do that as well. You'll also notice this right here, list preview. This gives you how many objectives there are, as well as how many icons there are in the set, in the list. And you'll see, like, as I toggle things on and off, this number will change. So you can get an idea of how many objectives are in each list. So if I change this to generic, this changes. And of course, toggling this on and off will change that. But yeah, pretty much this is how you can choose different lists. Some lists don't have tags. Some do. But yeah, you can configure this as much as you want. But yeah, so once you've got like your game set up, you can go down here and you'll go to mode options. So mode options, oh yeah, also when you select a new list, there's also a little thing down here, like a little status update. I might change that to put it somewhere more noticeable, but yeah, anyways. So once you choose your list, you can go down to mode options. So there are 4 modes. We've got Rush, Fog of War, Bingo, and Roguelike. Let's go ahead and look at Bingo first. So Bingo has a couple of options. So we've got Bingo Logic, which highlights completed lines and counts Bingo score. And then we've got your choices of board size. So we've got a bunch here for classic Bingo. So I'm gonna go ahead and generate this so we can take a look. So when you get to the actual board page, there's a couple things going on. So first of all, we got copy preset and copy board link. So preset is going to copy all of the settings you picked in the generator. So if I go to this, everything will be toggled exactly as you had it. And it even includes the seed down here, but of course you could erase that and then generate a new board like this. Now, also we have click to reveal board. If you do copy board link, this will take you directly to this page with the exact same board. So you can see here we have, well, you can't see me toggling between tabs, but I have the exact same board between 2 different tabs. So, excuse me, sorry. So that is these 2 buttons. Pretty easy to share things with other people if you want to. We got the color drop down here, so we've got some colors that you can choose from. So if I click on something, I can actually change the color in real time. So we can change this to gold, we can change this to different colors. We also have an icons toggle. If you toggle this off, this all changes to text. And if you put it back on, it'll change to the icons. So this is nice if you're like, if you just want to play with text mode, or if you want to play with icons. You can toggle between the 2 to see like what these actually mean. Alternatively, if you're on icon mode, you can also just hover over the goal and it'll give you a little tooltip that tells you what that goal is. So for example, here we've got get a reward from a mushroom, we have Titan Cup, yeah, various things. We also have wheel mode, so this is for marking, so you can use the scroll wheel to mark goals. So if I scroll down, I can mark these off. If I scroll up, I can put a little border around them, which usually indicates like I haven't completed this goal, but maybe I want to like mark it for whatever reason. And if I do wheel mode to count, it changes the wheel scroll to a counter in the top right corner of the square. So this is useful for, let me see here. Yeah, this is useful for like, if you have like grab 20 puzzle pieces, I can use this to keep track of how many pieces I've gotten. And yeah, you can just use that little number to keep track of whatever you want, really. But yeah, so we've got that. Again, you can toggle between, which is nice. You can also use clicking, so if I left click, that'll complete a goal. If I right click, it'll mark it with a border. And you can also see that when we completed a line, it turned purple. So that's the bingo logic toggle in work. So it colors your lines as you complete them. It also keeps track of how many lines you've completed. And then if I undo that, it'll change back. So pretty cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and let's look at some other things. So one of the other modes we have is Rush. So basically what this mode is, is you get 3 objectives here, and you pick one to do. So like, let's say we get Jungle King, so we mark this off. Now we get 3 more goals. And basically you just keep going until the end. So this UI is pretty much the same. The score keeps track of how many goals you've done, how many rounds you've done. We also got this nice little progress bar, so you can see how far into this game you are. And we also have this log drop down, so you can see what goals you've picked and which ones you didn't pick for each round. So yeah, pretty cool. So by default, the number of rounds is just exhausting the list of objectives. So like we picked the KH1 list. I don't remember how many objectives it has, but you know, take the number of objectives it has, divide it by 3, and that's how many rounds there will be by default. But if we go back and let's say we want to limit this to only 10 rounds, we can generate this. And then now you can see we're progressing a lot quicker. And eventually we reach the end. Score of 10. Now we're done. And then yeah, we've got the log here. So yeah, that's how that works. So you can configure how many rounds there are with this little text box here. Again, auto is just gonna exhaust the list of objectives completely. And yeah, so let's go ahead and look at Fog of War. So Fog of War, we got a couple options here. We got board size, all these board sizes, how many squares you want to do, or how many squares you want on the board. And then we've got starting squares, so you can pick which squares will be revealed. So Fog of War, when you generate this, all of the squares are hidden except for a select few. So in this case we've got these 4 revealed, and when I mark this off, it'll reveal the squares around it. And this is pretty much what you have to do to reveal the rest of the board. So if we go back here, we have like various options here. So Classic 2. Oh, whoops. Classic 2, we got... That'll reveal these 2. Like, basically everything is centered around the center square. So Classic 2 will reveal the top left and bottom right of the center. Let's see what else we got. Classic 4, which I just showed you, is all of them around the center, all 4 corners. And then we have center, which is just the center square. We have, whoops, we have corners. Some of these are self-explanatory, so this is 4 corners of the board. Let's see, we did corners. Ascend is bottom row, so like that. And then we have river, which is the left column, so just the left column. And then we also have random. So for random, let me see, if I go back to my GitHub, go to Fog of War, there's a little bit more information about that right here. So random picks a random amount and starting squares, positions of the squares. So the minimum is 2 and the maximum is the board size. So in our case, if we pick a board size of 7, the minimum will be 2 and the max will be 7. So if we do this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got the max. And they're in random spots. So yeah, that's how this works, and it all works the same. All the options, they work exactly the same on every board. And yeah, I think that's about it for Fog of War. And again, it all works the same. Like, if we do 9x9, whoops. If we do 9x9, it's all around the center. For the classic 4 starting squares. Alright, and then the last mode we have is Roguelike. So this is a huge pyramid-like board. So basically you have a start square at the top, and if you click on something, it will reveal the bottom. It will reveal 3 goals to the bottom of it. So like this is directly to the bottom, but if I pick this one, now the goals are over here. And when you get to the red layer, there's only 1 goal, so you're basically like forced to do only 1. You don't get a choice here. And when you get to this layer, you complete this, it'll resume from the previous layer. The previous layer's position. And also if you get to the corner over here, you can see over in the corner, or on the edge, it reveals only 2 spaces, so that's a little quirk of this. And then, yeah, the goal is to just get to the bottom and complete all of these goals. So yeah, there's a couple sizes. So that was B15, we have B9, which is a much smaller one. So you can, you know, click through here, get to the bottom. Very nice. We also have a giant 20-layer board. The number is signifying how many layers. So B20 is 20 layers. And then yeah, you can see this is a huge board. And you just click through here. By the way, so the images will be cached to your browser. So the first time you visit this site, I'm on a private browser right now, so the first time you visit this site, the images might be a little bit slow to load, but the next time you visit, they should be loading like much quicker the more you come to this site. But yeah, so that's about it on all the modes. The last thing we have is modifiers. So this is, the only modifier I have is shiny goals. So this adds a glowing rainbow border to random goals. So an example of that, let's go ahead and pick just a regular bingo. If we enable that, we get to determine how many shinies we get. If we go to the GitHub page again, go to modifier shiny goals, there's a default, and these are the default numbers. So we got rush mode default is math.floor, number of rounds divided by 4. If you don't know what that means, you can Google it. Basically, it's gonna spit out the lowest whole number. And then we got Fog of War Classic Bingo, which will be board size -2. Roguelike default will be math.floor, number of layers divided by 3. Shiny goals will also not overlap with red or gold layers. So if we go back here, let's go ahead and look at this. Now you can see the rainbow border around these 3 goals. We can still mark them, so I can, you know, put my green tint border around it as well, and I can also mark it off. And yeah, there you go. So that works with regular bingo. It'll work with everything, really. So here's this one. So as far as like what they mean, it's really up to you. Like something that I like to do, for example, is if I play Rush and I run into a shiny goal, then I have to do this. I don't get to choose the other two. You know, you can do something like that. You could do the opposite, where if you're playing Rush and you see a shiny goal, you're not allowed to do it. You know, you can really make up like whatever rules you want. So like Fog of War. Something else I like to do is, oh, I didn't enable it. Whoops. Hold on. So Fog of War, something I like to do is I have to get, if I'm doing like Ascend, I have to get to the top and do every shiny. So like I have to do all of these and then get to the top, you know. What else do we have? We have Bingo, or Roguelike. So yeah, again, these won't appear on red or gold layers. They'll just be their own thing. But yeah, it's really up to you how you want to play with shiny goals. You can make up your own rules. Get creative with it. And yeah, I think that's about it for the generator itself. So down here we have the seed. I have a bunch of seeds I rolled. You can name your seed if you want to. Yeah, this site uses seeded boards. We also have copy preset, which I already showed. It'll roll... or it'll take you to a link with all of your settings already done. And then we also have generate game, which is what I've been using to actually generate the bingo boards. Whoops, sorry. And then we also have the color drop down here, if you want to select your color. I don't think I showed this. I think I showed it very briefly, but actually... you can see down here, like, it's all color-coded to whatever color you picked. It will change in real time. I think I did mention that when I showed this off earlier, but it will change. It will change down here, too, in the log, which is pretty neat. And also, on the board page, there's a back button up here, which will take you back to the generator. There's also a reset button up here, which basically just refreshes the page. So you can do that, or you could refresh, you know, just on your browser. But yeah, besides that, I think that's about it. I believe your color will also be remembered by your browser's cache. So you don't have to pick your color every time unless you clear it. Alright, so I was about to wrap things up, but I forgot to mention how custom lists work. So when you select a game, you can select custom. You can create your own JSON file. If we go to the GitHub, you can find information about that in custom bingo lists. So here we got some information. So your JSON file needs to be set up like this. Basically there needs to be a name element, and then you'll have whatever the, objective is. But basically you set it up like this. It has to have a name property. Icon is optional. Custom icons are sadly not supported. I don't know if they ever will. If I can figure it out, then sure, but at the moment, no. But you can use icons that are already on the site. So I have a link to the folder. If you go to the folder, this is every icon on the site, and you can, just write down the path like this and use that for your custom objective list if you want to. Whoops. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and select a custom list. Okay, and once I've selected a list, you can see it says file uploaded, gives you the list preview. This one has no icons on it. Also down here you can see I uploaded my JSON. This is a Zelda Wind Waker bingo list. And then yeah, we can set our options to whatever. We'll just do this, I guess. Generate. And there we go. We have our custom list on the website. You can see that these are a bunch of Wind Waker related goals. And yeah, that's how to use custom lists. Pretty simple. It should work with every bingo mode. So yeah, if I upload the same list and then do like rush mode, let's limit it to 20 rounds, let's say, and generate this. And here we go, we've got our custom list in here, which is nice. And yeah, you can just play with your own bingo lists. Pretty cool. But yeah, so that is the icon bingo generator. And yeah, if there are any issues, you can go ahead and contact me on Discord and let me know. But besides that, if you try it out, I hope you have fun with it. And yeah.